have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. I hope you guys are having a good time out there. The markets bounced, yeah boy. So stock markets there had a nice jump, and so did the crypto majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We also got some of the fundamentals underpinning value creation for Bitcoin, Ethereum playing out as well. We're going to talk about all those things, including the stretch preferred stock, pumping the old Bitcoin, vampiring the old traditional debt markets, and of course we're going to look at some of the upcoming statements from Tom Lee, and of course Bitmine immersion there. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Pulsechain, new all-time low, guys. Are the buyers coming in? Is this the end? Is this the bottom? We're going to have a look at the Pulsechain chart. Who is the superstar on Pulsechain right now? Well, we talked yesterday about the Hex marketing with what's something like 3 million Hex or so dropped to different wallets, 3 million wallets, I should say, having Hex dropped, and already getting some engagement out of that with some of the CryptoSolve data. But the big kraken on the Pulsechain, what is it? It's Liberty Swap, guys. Liberty Swap there continuing to roll out more and more DeFi. Just plug and play. Liberty Swap V2 there, basically plug in DeFi and just expand the ecosystem at a super speed. Who else is doing it out there? I don't know. Anyone else that's going that fast? It's pretty exciting, guys. So we've got lots to talk about. There is a light in the end of the tunnel. Don't go to the tunnel. Actually, the tunnel's probably good. Tunnel's probably good. We got Superman. So glad you're here. Hey, you're most welcome there, Steve. Right? Hey, great to have you in the house as always. It's been a little while, but good to see you in the chat there, Steve. Big shout out there. If you guys are new to the channel, we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels: the Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button on the way in. And of course, if you're watching on X, don't forget to scroll up to the top there and hit the follow button. We've just passed 1,500 followers there, moving up to 2,000 as our next target. We're still coming out of the bear market here, but looks like we're pretty close. And we're going to look at some of the commentary about that from Tom Lee, one of the permabills, as they say, permabills in the market. All right, should we get into it? Let's do it. And if you guys haven't joined Strategy Club, let's talk about that briefly. So Strategy Club, just over $1 a day to join up. You get all the intel. As I'm looking at the markets during the day, I post all the insights there, so you're not going to miss a beat. Have all the edge and everything else. We're covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulsechain, of course. We're going to be covering X1 and, of course, Solana too. So EVM and SVM chains. And, of course, get most of the alpha there. So well worth joining up. Just $1 a day, pretty good value. And you can find the QR code there. It will take you to the Whoop store, and you can sign up through there, one of the major platforms for signing up to things like this. And, of course, you'll end up getting a link to the Discord, and we will welcome you there. Be pretty cool. We also have great discussions about things as well, pros and cons and lots of stuff. So good place to be. We do have general membership of Discord. It's about $12.50 a month. So join up to either Strategy Club or the general membership there, and we'll see you there. We also have the Telegram group. You can jump in there too, and that is free. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the stock market results and see how things have gone. We've got stocks end bruising March, says investing.com, with a euphoric relief rally on de-escalation hopes. So that's kind of where we finished. And boy, was it quite the bounce today. The Dow Jones up 2.5%. Remember, yesterday it was up a little bit. Today it's up pretty significant. Look at this, guys. 1,125 points. OMG, that's huge. And we're at 46,346, 341 there. So a big bounce in the markets today. We got the S&P 500 up 2.9%, guys, up 185 points to 6,528. And the NASDAQ up a whopping 3.83%, at almost 800 points. Unbelievable. 21,590. But of course, a lot had been wiped off, right? A lot had been wiped off. Let's have a look at the last year. No, not last year. This is the last 6 months. And you can see we're kind of back to where we were 6 months ago on the Dow Jones. We came off from a high of just over 50,000. So we've still got about, what's that, about 4,800 points, is it? about 3,800 points, about 3,800 points. So big rally in the Dow Jones ahead. A lot of the tech stocks, of course, and companies have been discounted dramatically. PE ratios down dramatically as well, I think around 17 or so. So we're going to look for that. A lot of opportunity to get in on the tech rally moving ahead. S&P 500, of course, is down as well. It's actually just almost back to where we were. We were a bit higher, 6,700. We're at 65 right now, and we peaked out about 68. So another 300 points to get back up there. So keep a lookout for that. And the Nasdaq at the moment up 3.8%, still down on 6 months ago. But I think that's going to probably bounce back pretty hard. And of course, we came off 23,700. So still got about 2,200 points to go to get back up there. But still a great day in the office there for those indices. US dollar went back below 100. Remember, it was 108 when Trump came into power on the 20th of January. 2025? Yeah. And then we got the VIX is down. Remember, VIX was over 30. That was pretty bad. We're down 17% on the VIX, guys. 5 points to 25. So we're way down there. Risk on. In terms of oil, still got elevated oil prices. West Texas at the moment, $102.55, $1.15. Brent oil at $105 almost. That is up 1.4%. So oil is still elevated there. And we got gold at the moment, $4,700. It is up 1%. And we got silver up a little bit there as well at $75. So those still holding up pretty well, although we are expecting those to do some sort of rotation sometime this year. So we've already seen a little bit of that already, I believe. So there we go. Now let's jump over into some of the key stuff there. We're going to talk about that. So equity markets became excited overnight at the prospect of President Trump willing to exit the war with Iran soon, regardless of whether the Strait of Hormuz is open. The rally gained additional momentum on reports that Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian wants to end the war, but is seeking guarantees. Now, you're going to have a lot of factions in the Iranian regime, and particularly the IRGC, the military there, is now probably the main player for sure. And so you're going to have relative moderates, and you're going to have all the extremists. So a lot of the extremists will be even more extreme because they've been beaten up so badly and lost a lot of their toys. So they're going to have a lot of that play, and they've lost a lot of their best friends, right? So that's still going to, you're still going to have those sort of issues there, and you're going to have potentially a lot of infighting, assassinations, and things like that playing out. That may also be part of the death throes of a potential revolution in Iran as well, and that could still play out after the Americans leave. There's nothing stopping that too much as the resistance movement starts gaining momentum. But of course, the regime will want to kind of crack down on all that. But Iran's a big country, guys. It's a big country. There's lots of different sectors of it too, different tribes and things. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Trump says the Iran war won't last much longer. Now they obviously had a 4 to 6 week sort of timeline. They're probably going to head towards the 6 weeks is probably where we're heading here, and that's kind of the play at the moment. So yeah, let's see. I think they're going to be pragmatic about who they're dealing with, and I think that Iran's fighting a battle on two fronts at the moment, their own people, and that could really start to rear its ugly head. We've already seen resistance movements doing assassination, things like that. So we'll keep a lookout for that at the moment. You'll have to. Trump says also Trump on Tuesday called out countries unable to get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz closed to number one, buy from the US. We have plenty. So obviously, US can be a big winner there as a net exporter. Remember, the US became a net exporter under Trump essentially, and so game on there. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it. So there we go. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be here to help you anymore, just like you weren't here for us. Now remember, a lot of the European countries, Australia, stuff like these are all globalists, right? So these are all leaders that are destroying the West. We talk about this all the time, right? They're actively destroying the West. They're Marxist globalists. They just lie on camera all the time, and they just get away with it because the mainstream media is also corrupted, right? So it's no surprise you see these with regimes. Even in the West, we get all the state departments taken over. They always leave behind, every time you get a gunman in, they always leave behind their little deep state to take over the state departments. You never really get rid of them, even with democracy. So they always undermine democracy that way. So we see that in the West. We always knew that they were going to, try to undermine Trump. So we see that in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Europe, UK, all this sort of stuff, trying to do the old betrayal, right? And they think they're smarty pants, but of course Trump knows what they're doing. Secretary of State Rubio knows what they're doing. And as you guys know, I'm super glad, long overdue, to have someone like Trump in power doing common sense things and last man standing, is he? Last man standing to defend the West, because the future that the others, the globalists, have are a nightmare. They're a horrible future, and so it's great to have Trump in the room, fixing up all the problems that are way overdue for decades. First of all, we had liberals, then we had progressives. Progressives are terrible, pretty evil people, and they're running a lot of the West right now, and we see that on the streets. So justice becomes injustice, right? So they put people that are innocent in prison, they leave the all the bad people out on the street. So you're getting all this upside down world. A truth is a lie, and a lie is a truth. And then they try to make that like that's normal, right? So there's lots of things going on with what these guys are doing, and it's great to have Trump fix up a lot of these issues. And obviously, we're going to have a quick look at some of the stuff that Trump's been doing. U.S. Secretary Pete Hegseth had another update today as well. He said there are countries around the world who ought to be prepared to step up in this critical waterway as well, many more vessels as well. So Trump there leaving these rebellious globalist Marxists in the West to go and defend their own oil. Remember, most of the oil that's flowing through the Strait of Hormuz goes to China, goes to India, goes to Japan, it goes to the Europeans, right? So this is where these going basically say, if you want to go defend it. You never came and helped us, kind of thing. So he's calling them out. Now, obviously, the Americans moved first, but they did make a call. If you want to come and support us now, come in. And of course, they didn't want to do that for their own political reasons, right? So that's kind of where we are right now with that. Let's go hear a little bit more from Trump. And there's a couple of little interviews here with Trump earlier today.
The people understand it. We'll be leaving very soon. And if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. I think it'll be very safe, actually, but we have nothing to do with that. What happens in the strait, we're not going to have anything to do with, because these countries, China will go up and they'll fuel up their beautiful ships and they'll leave and they'll take care of themselves. There's no reason for us to do it. We hit them hard. We got rid of a lot of the radicalized lunatics along the strait. But if they want something, but I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3, we're hitting them very hard. Last night we knocked out tremendous amounts of missile-making facilities. As you probably read or wrote, we knocked out. Excuse me?
Pardon me for interrupting. The U.S. will be gone or done with the war in 2
I
or 3
think
weeks?
2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks. If it is
We'll
3
leave
weeks,
because
then it
there's
would
no
be
reason for us
afterwards.
to do this.
That's
Look, problem with the strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, "Oh, it's unsafe." It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country, or they can drop it, or you can take.
So that's a little update there from Trump there. I think we've got a second one as well. So let's talk about this one too.
Gas prices today, they hit $4.
We're $4, yeah, and we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in
Of
6
course,
months.
but Americans are feeling the effects in the interim. Of the
And they're also
celebration.
feeling a lot safer.
What is the plan to bring them back down?
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon. And they'll become tumbling down. And stock prices were up today almost to a record because they know 2 things. Number one, we have a safe country. We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khomeini, who sadly is no longer with us.
Gas prices.
All right, so there's Trump there talking about obviously the Strait of Hormuz. People are going to have to come and get their own oil. Number 2, Trump looking to leave after a deal is done. And then, of course, there's going to be always questions around that, right? Because there's a lot of radicals that they're dealing with. Hopefully, the moderates, but moderates, will they last very long, and how moderate will they be? Typically, we're going to be biased to the extreme. So we'll see how that plays out. And then, thirdly, they could be, Trump could be out within a week or 2. So we'll see how that goes. With all that. And the biggest thing, I guess, is should have been done decades ago. Dealing with this regime, they were definitely they were building a lot of their enrichment nuclear bomb technology inside deep mountains, intentionally protecting it so that they could build nuclear bombs, and they probably pretty much were close to having them based on information that they had. and they were going to use them just like they did October the 7th. They would have used those in a way of terrorist fashion, not from a state fashion where you fire nukes over, but actually more terroristic, and we could end up having a nuke just pop up on the mainland of the United States, and then suddenly boom, and it's all too late by then, right? Millions of people get killed with that sort of stuff. So it was long overdue, and it's great to see this taken care of. Certainly, I agree with Trump, made the world a safer place there. Short-term pain for a long-term gain, and safer environment that we can enjoy our crypto gains in the bull market ahead. That's kind of the play there. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the moment, we're going to get into all that, but let's go to the GoPulse first. Not GoPulse, let's go to CoinGecko and have a look at the overall markets before we get into Bitcoin. So we've got the total market cap at the moment, 2.41 trillion. We're up 1.1% right now. Bitcoin at the moment is up 1.8%, so also following the stock market up 1.8% at just below 68,000 at the moment. Ethereum there sitting just below 2,100, up 3.8%, so nice gain there. And BNB up 1.2% at $616 at number 4. XRP up 1.4% at $1.32 at number 5. Number 7 is Solana, up 0.8% at $82.97. Tron at number 8 is down 1.7% at 31.3 cents. Figure Helic up 2.8% at $1.83. And finally, number 10 is Dogecoin, up 1.5% at 92 cents. So that's where we are at the moment. Obviously, we're looking for the future rally, all the foundations being laid for that. For a lot of these chains, particularly Ethereum, will be the king beneficiary from a lot of the mega things. But Bitcoin will be the benefit from the stretch, attacking the basically transferring value from the debt markets. We're expecting, obviously, XRP/Ripple and to do well from the payment rails along with Solana. And then, of course, we're also going to have Dogecoin there benefit a lot from Elon Musk and the X-Money wallet and things like that. So those are some of the mega things we're expecting to lift as we move into the bull market ahead. A lot of those things are being laid into the foundations of the bull run ahead of us. So how long we go, we're going to listen to Tom Lee where we might be heading next. Now, our best performer over the last 24 hours has been Ethereum at 3.8%. And, it just goes to show you these digital asset treasuries as well are really helping give us structural support, I think, for these prices, because they really haven't gone down as far as they might have so far, at least. So the best performer over the last week is still Tron. Even though it's down today, it's up 2.3%. Top 100 performers, we've got Maincore up 36%. Stable is up 15% there. Algorand is up 8.2%. Ondo up 7.1%. And Canton there up 6.8% as well. Canton, as I understand, also going to benefit a lot from tokenization. So going to be interesting there. Top 1,000 coins, we've got Edge up 471%. Quantum Resistance up 55%. And Kernel DAO up 35%. Those are trending in top 1,000. I must say that moves around a lot, though. Trending overall is EdgeX, Siren, and Bitcoin. There we go. Those are trending overall. So we've still got a tiny little crypto market cap, 2.4 trillion. And, of course, we're looking for it to probably do at least 10 to 20x from here to get up towards gold, stock market, and, excluding Mag 7 and Mag 7, all pretty similar. I think around 40 trillion or so, somewhere in those ballpark. They move obviously around the market, but that is what we're expecting. Moving to Bitcoin, let's have a look at the 50-day. So here we are on Coinbase. We've got the 50-day at the moment at 70,939. So we'll just say 71,000 for argument's sake. 85,000 for argument's sake for the 200 moving average. And we've got the current price at 67,880 here. We obviously had 2 days of pump there, as you can see in the chart. So we're just below that at the moment, below 71. So to get back to the 50-day moving average, need a little bit of a pump here, continuation, 4.5% to get to that 50-day. And so we'll look for that. Obviously, the last time we tried to get back over there was up here. We're still in this channel, essentially, at the bottom here with the all-time, well, the local low, I should say, of 60,000, which is kind of towards that power law bond. So let's see if that holds up. All right, so that is where we are. But, Bitcoin's getting structural support, and this could be the iPhone moment, right, of Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's Stretch product, one of several that he's launched. And here we are on the Bitcoin Quant site, and we can see that we got finally, since the last time it was operating, so it goes ex-dividend on the 14th of every month. And last month was a huge lift with the stretch product. It's a preferred stock, and it basically is competing with the debt markets. I think the private credit market, the money market, the bond market, and it's offering a whopping 11.5%. And just earlier, within the last hour, we had Michael Saylor confirm that the April 2026 rate is going to be 11.5%. So that has been climbing over the months since it launched. I think it launched somewhere like August last year or somewhere like that, and has been climbing the rates. And the rate is probably about 3 times the rate of money markets and bond markets, which are typically somewhere between maybe 2 and 4%. And of course, the private credit markets around about upwards of 8.5%. But of course, private credit markets, they've got a lot of issues around terms and conditions and illiquid markets. So this is a staggering attack on traditional markets. Remember, traditional markets and money market, bond markets, and private credit are worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. Now, let's think about that. Hundreds of trillions of dollars, and here we've got little old crypto at 2.4 trillion. So this is a massive potential vampire of the whole debt market. And what they're doing is they're sucking all that money. This is the idea. So we're going to keep watching it from month to month as it builds into buying Bitcoin and pushing the value of Bitcoin up. So you can see there's a massive potential transference here. This could truly be the iPhone moment. Still early days, but I think it's incredibly promising what we're seeing so far. And today we got the first minting again. So pretty exciting there. And it looks like we ended up raising, just for the first day alone, 758 Bitcoin. Now remember, 2 weeks ago, they had to issue common stock, so they can either do common stock and or the stretch preferred stock. The stretch preferred stock, of course, is around debt, so you're not diluting the shares at all in any way. But you for MSTR, but you are actually just shaving off a bit of the yield that you might get depending on how much you think Bitcoin's going to appreciate, whether it's 25% or 40%, for example, per year. So this is pretty exciting, and they're willing to pay 11%. 11 points of that, right? So if they're doing 40%, they're paying 11 points for the debt that is raised, and they're buying Bitcoin. So they're increasing as accretive to the underlying Bitcoin that's being held by MSTR common stock. So hopefully that sort of is easy to follow. We got Wookie in the house. So good to see you. To the moon, indeed. So yeah, overnight they did 758 Bitcoin. They raised 51 million from at the market. So ATM just means at the market. And basically, once the stretch product gets over $100 or $100 or more, they can actually issue new shares or new stretch shares and raise new capital. They take that capital and they buy Bitcoin with it. And so that increases the MSTR value because they've got more Bitcoin in the treasury. And so this is at $100. You can see it's ATM likely active. In other words, likely to issue shares and raise more capital. But you can see that yesterday on Monday, on the 30th, there was nothing that was raised. But Tuesday, they managed to raise 500. The total volume was 517 million, and that was trading stretch. And then they got to $100, and then they could start issuing new shares, and they raised $51 million just on overnight. And of course, we got Wednesday coming up, Thursday coming up, I guess, and presumably Friday is operating, although Easter's coming up. I'm not sure about that, but we've got the equivalent Bitcoin buy with 51 million at the current price of Bitcoin is about 758 Bitcoin. So that is incredible, guys. So they're taking this Bitcoin, and we're never going to see it again. It's going into the treasury, so to speak, and that is the idea behind it. And so every day they're going to be accumulating more Bitcoin through the Stretch project. Remember, about 3 weeks or so ago, they had declared that they had bought 23,000 Bitcoin, and they had switched between common stock issuance to the Stretch product, and of course that was dramatic. So 23,000 Bitcoin, and the previous week was 18,000. So what are the next 2 weeks going to behold? What are we going to get for the next 2 weeks ahead? In fact, it's a little bit longer than that because. At least on next 14 days, because we're going to see, the ATM probably run hot every day, especially if we have fairly bullish conditions. Obviously, if it's very negative, we got some setbacks happening in Iran that might lower the ATM, but we'll see. So far, pretty exciting. And this is providing structural support to Bitcoin and a big vampire attack potentially on the debt market. So far, so good. That's all I'll say about that. So exciting times ahead, guys. Now, we do have a little bit of insights here, too, from the Bitcoin historian. Michael Saylor's strategy just ended Q1 on track to hold 1 million Bitcoin by December. 88,000 BTC was bought in the first quarter, 90 days, so ending March. Think about that, 88,000 Bitcoin. 350,000 Bitcoin pays for 2026. 42 billion war chests raised as well, obviously issuing potential to issue new shares. Saylor is eviscerating the bears. We are witnessing greatness. So let's have a little insight here from Michael Saylor's little presentation as well, just to give you guys an idea of the whole strategy behind this. It's the iPhone moment for Bitcoin, so we might summarize it.
We don't have buyer fatigue. I think that we can buy more Bitcoin than the sellers can sell, and we're going to take it all, and we're going to take it out of circulation. In essence, we're winding up the network. We're powering it up like an engine. It's coiling like a torsion spring of sorts. We don't have. All
right, so you can start to see the big game plan now happening. So Michael Saylor is going to, when he's vampiring the debt markets, and because 11.5% yield, people are going to want that compared to 3 or 4%. It is a game changer, right? So, and all backed on Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is that store of value, digital store of value, and that's the whole play. So and it's just self-reinforcing, right? A positive flywheel there. Huge. So all that money is coming into crypto, and you guys are in crypto. So Michael Saylor is essentially working for you because a lot of that money will end up circulating around the crypto sphere, right? So that is very, very exciting. So Michael Saylor works for you. It's kind of like that. Now, someone else also works for you, and that is Ethereum. So Ethereum is, let's look at Ethereum chart right now. So we've got Ethereum at $2,100. We've got the 50-day moving average at $2,160. The 200-day in orange there is at 2,736. And so, yeah, we're looking pretty good. So hopefully promising if we keep this momentum that we've had last couple of days, we'll get back over that 50-day. So that's not far away from us at all. Just another $60, right? So that's, what's that amongst friends? 2.8%. That's nothing, right? So looking forward to that. And we may get a market maker coming in eventually if they think that the Iran thing's all being, signed up and sealed. Then that's kind of cool. Now, Iran could always be a problem for a future generation, a future president. If the radicals do decide to try and, rebuild and all the rest of it. I mean, it costs a lot of money, right? Last time, a lot of the money came from Obama. Remember that? The old plane flight with all the cash. What was it? I can't remember exactly how much it was. Was $1 billion or something? I can't remember. But as long as we don't get the Democrats in power, we'll probably be okay. I don't know why the Democrats loved giving nuclear weapons to terrorists, but apparently they like importing them into the country as well. You asked me. Is it an axis of evil? Probably. It's probably the answer. So that's kind of where we are right there at the moment. So let's jump over from Ethereum and look at some of the bullish news here. We've got a little update here from Tom Lee, so we're going to talk about that. So Tom Lee says, we're 95% through the sell-off. I'd buy the market today, he says. So he's pretty much confident about that. Obviously, he doesn't have full control over the Iran issue and oil and things like that. But so he's trying to make a position near taking the technicals and the fundamentals. That's the call right now, says Tom Lee. It all comes down to positioning. VIX is above 30. Well, we saw that come back to 25 today. All sentiment, bulls minus bears, is negative 20%. We got the Goldman says hedge fund selling equals capitulation, and since 1900s, I should say, markets bottom early in wars, first 10%. So let's have a look at this. Too many investors have already de-risked. When a position gets this neutral, the market doesn't need good news, just less bad news to trigger a V-shaped recovery, and that's what we've been looking forward to. Every time we have the Ethereum come down like this, we've had a V-shaped recovery. And with the war, that should play out now too. We've had the trumpets, and now we've had the guns. So it's probably getting pretty close. Well, the guns are still on, but it's going to play. So let's hear from Tom Lee himself about that.
Did you buy the market today?
Yeah, I think we're 90 to 95% through the sell-off.
What gives you that confidence?
Well, I think some of it's positioning, and Goldman had a really nice piece about hedge fund positioning.
That's right.
And
certain things that looked up, sorry to interrupt you, just so people have the full context. Their note was basically like, look, we've observed a lot of hedge funds selling, which looked like capitulation activity to us. So maybe that's run its course. So now you can perhaps build that base back up?
Yeah, so I think that's one component. The second is retail sentiment's very negative because the AAII bulls less bears is minus 20. That's a tactical sign. The VIX closed above 30. And now I think earnings season is going to show earnings probably going to hold up better. And then the last piece there is I think we're just going to have to realize that stocks tend to bottom early in a wartime situation. So we've looked at every war since 1900. Stocks will bottom within the first 10% of that war. So if this is a, 2-year war, we're going to bottom pretty early into that process.
So let's hit tech more broadly. Because it hasn't traded well and it hasn't really shown any signs that it's finding its legs. Like, you had memory names, for example, last week look horrific. And what does Micron do today? Let's show it. Ugly again. There's like it doesn't feel like there's an ability for a stock like that in a group that went straight up and to the right to find any stability there. Mega caps, they haven't looked great at all. And the only thing I can find people saying good about them is, well, look at their multiples now. Yeah. They've compressed a lot in the pullback.
Yeah, we're in the fire ready aim phase, right, where any little bad news is going to cause people to de-risk. But as you know, that's why the positioning is something to watch, because at some point people have gotten too neutral and then less bad things can happen and the market has a V-shaped recovery.
Would you buy them?
So that was the key part there. Less bad things happen. The market has a V-shaped recovery, and that's what we're expecting ahead of us. But I just want to quickly look at another slide that was brought up here in the video here, and that was Tom Lee's market positioning, right? So he likes energy and basic materials. He likes the Mag 7, so that's the Magnificent 7. These are the Teslas and NVIDIA of the worlds. He likes Bitcoin and Ethereum, obviously. He's obviously leading the Ethereum rush. And he also likes industrials, bullet makers there, obviously, I guess, feeding the war and stuff like that. So the next layers above the infrastructure players. So pretty interesting stuff there from Tom Lee. Tom Lee had more to say about that interview. So he says, yesterday I was on CNBC. That's why the markets were showing red. But, of course, we had a bullish green market overnight, which is funny, just after he was being quite bullish and said we would be buying the market here. And, of course, he looked like he timed it right? Because the market went green overnight. Even if the low is not in place, so there's still some uncertainty, of course, mainly because we believe the U.S. economy can handle $100, even $120 oil. We saw the oil price at the moment about 102, 104. So even though America's a net exporter, they're still paying global prices, right? That's how the markets work. I know many are skeptical, but please keep reading. So we're going to have a little look at his insights here. Foremost, when adjusted for inflation CPI, the current $106 oil price is less than the prior peaks. The nominal $144 oil price in July 2008, inflation is up 53% since then. Oil would have to be 220 days to match the 208 high inflation adjusted. It just shows you how good Trump's doing, right, with around the oil, changing the oil there in your favor. So, it could be $220 barrel oil. But Trump's been pulling down the oil price with all his policies over the last year and in his previous first term, right, around U.S. exports and spanning the U.S. oil and gas markets and refineries, etc. So pretty cool there, and you can sort of see the chart there. Now let's jump into number 3 there. We've got the energy intensity of the U.S. economy has also declined sharply in the past 50 years. So lowering the energy requirement also helps with the supply side. You can see that going down on the chart there. Number 4, pessimism about the U.S. equity market is high. Understandable, but our take is the U.S. economy is more resilient than many realize. Certainly, globally, that is easily true because obviously we have a lot of Marxist globalists running all the rest of the West, and they're making essentially declining in most places, right? So New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Europe, UK, all in decline in many ways, and many people don't even realize how much the decline they're in, but they are. So that's some of the stuff there. Number 5, it's been 5 weeks since the war started, and we can see sources of relative outperformance. Energy, our top pick. Crypto, ETH and Bitcoin. Tech and interest rate sensitivities there. They've got a couple of stocks there. Fundstrat Direct family members get these insights. Of course, they've got their little pro stuff there, but you can actually see the ones that have actually performed pretty well relative to what's going on at the moment. So Iran, crypto, and US energy and tech outperformed since the war. And you can see you got MSCI World Energy, and they're doing well. Ethereum, Bitcoin have done relatively well, up and a positive there against the rest of the market. And then you have some services, software, etc. And then you have all the ones doing worse. So gold, obviously, after that spid run, actually did worse, and also silver as well, and industrial. So a lot of this world stuff here going on that are negative. So energy, crypto, and tech done pretty damn well, and we're expecting also a V recovery ahead of us in the old crypto, particularly for Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. So going to be a lot of fun. We've got so that is some of the highlights there from the crypto majors. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that. We got a few people in the chat there as well. Craig Pitt, morning all. Great to see you, Craig. Hope you're doing well. And we got Hexavator as well. Hey gang, good to see you, Hexavator. And Frank White as well. Bang bang, Pulse gang. So we've got some of the great people in the chat there. Big shout out to you all. Let's get into Pulsechain. So obviously stock market did well overnight. Crypto majors did well. How's Pulsechain doing? Well, Pulsechain's still struggling. We're down there all-time lows, just bouncing off it really at the moment. Day 1,055 since Pulsechain launched on the 13th of May 2023. Of course, a battle-tested blockchain, just like Ethereum, because it's a fork. It's a fork of Ethereum, right? So we've got PulseX at the moment is at 50604. We've got Pulse at 50755. So Pulse up a 30%. Off the bottom, we're going to look at the chart in a minute. PulseX at 50604, just up a little bit there, a fraction of a percent. We've got the buy and burn sitting at 8.79% based on GoPulse numbers. And then we've got Inc at the moment sitting at 35 cents after that rally that we had when the inflation was cut 100x, basically towards effectively no inflation. We've got the supply there sitting at 56 million. Now, some of the whales are going on about incentive token, but I myself don't find it very valuable at the moment. I find incentive token, what is the use case, right? Now, we know the Master Chef contracts out there around the DAO eventually might get turned over and all the rest of it. We could have single-sided staking, third party, I'd say third party, but RH applications there as well. But at the moment, the only really thing supporting value, as far as I can tell, is third-party applications like farms and stuff for Inc, which is fine. I mean, that's all justified DeFi use. But apart from that, I don't really see too much. PulseX, of course, is the DEX, so that's deflationary. It gets bought up and burned through the fees. And we've got Pulse as the main chain. It's got everything built on top of it. That all makes sense. And Hex, of course, is a second generation, second cycle, I guess, coin. And that is, now we've got two of them. So PHEX at the moment sitting at just under 0.14%, 4.5%. So Hex making the better move there. And we've got EHEX there has actually come up quite a bit from the bottom. We're at 0.0067 right now on EHEX. And of course, everyone's been talking about the ratio between EHEX and PX, and we can see it got stronger overnight because now, or got stronger? Yeah, got weaker, I think it was, yeah. So PX, one PX is worth 2.05 EHEX at the moment, so it looks like EHEX got a little bit weaker there, and the combined price of EHEX and PX is still sitting just over 0.2 of a penny today. Let's jump over to gas prices. We got 800,000 beats, pretty similar to yesterday. 0.2 of a penny for Pulsex swap, pretty similar to yesterday. Validators have actually gone down dramatically. It looks like we lost another 1,100 or so validators. So another big validator looks like it's exited. So this is another one. I don't know whether they've been selling or not, whether it was the dump to all-time lows yesterday, but that is down again. We're at 50,000 holding on there. Let's have a look at the bridge. Just below 70 million, guys. So we're up a little bit from yesterday. We're 25K shy of 70 mil, but we're working our way back, are we? We're working our way back. Apparently, we've got something like $37 million worth of stablecoins just sitting idle on the chain. So we'll see when they get activated in the future after all the big mega downstream has happened. So that's kind of where we are right now. I've got 4 liquidity forks. We're expecting at least 1 or 2 more, along with that would be Vault 369 and potentially Coinwell. Although Raquel, Michelle, and Jen have I checked yesterday because I wanted to get a bit more update on those protocols, and I didn't see all those companies have disappeared off their publications. I'm not sure whether that's just due to market sentiment and some of the issues that have happened recently in the community around drama, but whether those will pop back up when the timing is right. So we'll keep keep a lookout for that. And if we get any information, we'll do that. Obviously, multi-chain liquidity forks seem to be the future, and we're looking forward to both of those potentially launching. So pretty cool. We know that Vault 369 is very close, so that's going to be pretty cool. All right, let's jump over to the Pulsechain chart and see how we're getting on. This is the heartbeat of Pulsechain. This is the old Pulse price. It is the fee coin after all. It has got the same attributes or similar attributes, I should say, to Ethereum, but half the inflation. And we've got the ERP 159, right? But we've got very low volumes on Pulsechain, so we've got inflation still, right? It's still unprofitable for Pulsechain validators. So they're doing a public service. Maybe that's why we've been losing a couple thousand in the last couple of days, couple of weeks. Maybe they sort of realized, and they decided to sell at the bottom and goes elsewhere. I mean, that's what that's the case. They help make the bottom, of course, when they do it. But here we are at the moment on the old Pulse is the hourly chart, so you can sort of see we're really moving around, volatile. Hope you guys like the rodeo, because it feels like that, right? It feels like the rodeo on this chart. Look at that. We came all the way down. We got a new all-time low, guys. I hate to say it, and we're at 506983. That is crazy. Oh, I just had a glitch in the matrix. I think we just lost myself there. I'll just have to refresh here. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had a glitch like we did the other day. Had a glitch there, and it's had to reset the camera, so I do apologize for that technical interruption. Hopefully, we won't have any more, once they start happening, hopefully. We had 5 in a row the other day and had to stop the stream and then start again, so I apologize for that. All right, so here we are with the price here, a zigzag. So we rallied all the way from a new all-time low of 506983. And we've gone all the way back up to 70679, and now we're back down to 507538. So what a ride and a new all-time low. Unbelievable there. That's crazy. Let's look at the monthly chart. That's the hourly chart. We're going to go to the other extreme, the monthly chart, and you can see, OMG, we have just started a brand new month as well. Thank goodness. Let's leave this month behind, this one here. Let's leave that one, March, behind with the all-time low behind us. Is it going to be the bottom? Is the bottom being set? And are we going to follow this blue line up to the upside? What do you guys reckon? Get into the chat. Let me know what you think there. Glitching out. Yeah, I had a glitch in the matrix there, Excavator. I'm not sure what's causing that, but I haven't got a lot of stuff open, so may just been the glitch there. Damn satellites. Damn satellite. All right, so here we are at the moment. We got 5075. We're just off the bottom last month. We've closed it out. Let's think about this. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months of Pulse going down. OMG. What else do you say about 8 months, guys? That's 2/3 of a year. And you're kind of like, if you imagine going back 8 months ago and saying, oh, well, especially after the big pump. Remember the big pump we had in July? And you probably got the FOMO in. You're feeling good about the chain. You start off August, you're still looking pretty good. You're up at 5,500. You're probably feeling good. And then, no, because that was after the SEC. Remember, we defeated the SEC. We had the green candle, and then down we went after that every month. Instead of having a relief rally and we bet the SEC, we're down every month, and down 87% over the 7 months, 8 months there, I should say. Pretty crazy, right? And so is the bottom in, guys. The RSI there on the monthly sitting around 36, so it's not oversold 100%, but fingers crossed we are down near the bottom there. Now, at the bottom, of course, is a buyer's market. You pick up massive volumes right now, massive volumes. What would it cost you $85,000 in the Pulse sacrifice is for a billion Pulse will only cost you 7,500 right now. And of course, only several hours ago, it would have cost you about $6,900. So how times have changed. Obviously, there's a lot of Pulse flooding around, relatively speaking, from all those redistributed sacrifices and large holders. And we see a capitulation still from a few validators recently as well. So Pulse glut in the market is your win, right? Because you can pick up 10, 11, 12 times more Pulse. So it is pretty insane. 13 times more pulse. It's pretty crazy, the amount of pulse. So, easy to become a billionaire pulse holder, whereas the sacrifice was about $85,000 plus or minus, depending on your multiplier. That is pretty crazy, right? So there we are right now, looking at the weekly. The RSI just skimming along the bottom there. And of course, we have had this before, right? So, I got another glitch. Another glitch. Oh my God. Another glitch in the matrix. All right, sorry about that. The second glitch in the service there. So probably because of the satellite, probably the satellite. But that's kind of where we are right now on the old chain there. For the weeklies, we have got a green week, but three red weeks there. Obviously, we want to get over the 21 weekly average. It's at 4 zeros, 1500. A lot of work to do to get there at the moment, but thin liquidity can happen pretty quick. Just need a market maker to get us going. And on the daily there, we can see we're at 8400, so that's not too far ahead of us right now on the daily. That would be a rise of about 11.5% there. So that is the markets right now, and glitching out there again. We got we're the bottom. So keep looking out for that. The RSI indicating that we'll probably get a bounce at some stage here, barring any of these validators dumping down or something like that. So that is the pulse charts. Let's get over we're below the 21 moving average. Now let's look at the top 100 trending, right? So we do have some good news here, despite the Pulsechain chart. Pulse is good if you're buying. It's great news if you're buying. If your portfolio has gone down 87% over the last 8 months, then that's not too happy for you. But if you buy at large volumes at the bottom, you can lower your average price dramatically, right? So let's think about that, especially if you're you're getting 13 times more than what you would have had, sort of thing. So there's some food for thought there. In terms of quality protocols, well, we keep talking about this. Peacock really is the kraken on Pulsechain right now, and it's just doing some incredible things. And that's going to continue to play out in the months and presumably years ahead of us. 90mm right now, one of our dexes. This should be discounted, right? Should be discounted because of the Pulsechain is just one of the little peers here. It's got 32K. Now they are giving out their fees every month. It was about 20K. It's probably lower than that now. I don't know exactly what it is right now. Maybe 15, given prices are down or something. But they keep delivering, right? Our second biggest DEX. We only got two main DEXs, excluding the balancer forks, and they're ticking away. So up 12% today. That's nice to see. Let's have a little zoom on that. We would typically expect these DEXs like PulseX and 9mm and any of the DEX aggregators to really start running up in value when we get a reversal of this mega downtrend, right? This 8 months of downtrend plus the previous months from when Pulsechain launched. Once we start getting a reversal uptrend, we would expect these to re-rate pretty strongly. So a lot of capital flow would probably happen there. So we can see actually on the daily, 90mm's going up in price. So that's pretty cool. So nice to see that. And we've got the pulse ratio. So we've got that pulse ratio there over the last week or so. It's looking pretty good. What's it, about 9-10 days going up there? So we've all gone all the way down from this. We had a spike down here actually on the 18th to 261, and it's now at 612. So this is getting a lot of love there. I'm not sure whether it's the team or whether it's just people loving the product because 9mm keeps delivering, but it is up 135% there on the ratio. So not bad there happening there. And it's nice to see, the second biggest DEX, which is doing how much volume right now? $500,000 in volume. So that's ticking away there. Now, obviously, if Pulsechain reverses and everything, these turnovers can get into the millions very quickly. So keep a lookout for that. All right, so let's have a look at the other things that are going on right now. Zero Trust is tied into Peacock. They're doing about 10 different type of DeFi products. They're working on a lot of different stuff there, and they're part of what they call the trifecta of Peacock. Peacock itself, though, is leading the way today. And why not? These guys their roadmap just keeps getting bigger. They keep dropping new alpha just about every day. Pretty insane. We got Peacock at the moment is sitting at a modest 11.4 million based on DEX Screener's market cap, but they're sitting at 1.35 cents. So obviously we've been up around about 2.8 cents. is the all-time high, and intraday high was did tap 3 cents. But the ratio is heading back towards the all-time high ratio, given Pulse is down so dramatically over the last 8 months. It's actually ratios not too far away from its record ratio of 2,000, 2,200 actually, I think it was. So it's not too far from there. But we're up almost 12% today. And that's driven by probably a lot of news and a lot of buybacks that's happening from the Liberty Swap team itself. So that's kind of the key there. And so you can see all 4 peers there are dominating with the old Peacock, number 3 to 6. And then we've got 0 there going up with it. It's part of the trifecta, tied in with the Peacock volume as well. So that's up 10% as well. So all the ones doing well tied to Peacock, except for 9mm, their second biggest deck. So that's kind of cool. I actually really like to see this. This is how I like to see Pulsechain valuing the better products, right? The better products get valued. Now, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes we have crap products at the top and all the good ones down the bottom, whatever. Sometimes people are taking their profits from one and rotating. Some people, and then we've got a lot of, what I'd call immature investors. And this is part of it. This is going to be the way it be. But I would like to see over time it mature a little bit, just so that we get more investable products. That's kind of the idea. And I think we've got kind of like around about 15 plus or minus blue chips on Pulsechain, but we've only got 1 or 2 dynamic. 1 or 2 of those blue chips are actually dynamic. In other words, they can be valued up all the time, regardless of where the Pulse price is going. Right, so Pulse might be going down, but these have a better chance of actually getting up on the ratio versus Pulse and keeping that US dollar price up. And so that's kind of where I land Peacock as the Kraken on Pulsechain right now. They do what they say and say what they do, is that the word? And that's really cool, right? That's really cool. We're going to come back to Peacock in a minute. We've got Finvesta up there as well, $1.36, get a bit of recovery at 10%. Zendog is the other one, along with the trifecta for Peacock. So Zendog, Zero, and Peacock there, the trifecta. We've got Sparta there up about 7%, tied into the old Hex derivative there. Coffee shop up a little bit there. ZKP, obviously following in on Richard's Prevex token. That's up 6% today. And how's the volume looking? 6K? It's okay. If I can manage 6K or more, it's probably doing okay. So you can buy ZKP, stake it in Prevex. Teddy Bear from James Maria up 5.6%, and a Troper there sitting in as well, number 13, 14. Look at that, all the way through to 16. Are we going to see some action around from James Maria as we move forward, or is he capital restrained right now and volatility restrained? We'll see. He's obviously doing a lot of stuff in the background. Now, who's running Liberty Swap? That's the question, right? Who's running Liberty Swap? Is it associated to Richard Hart? It's doing a lot of Rich Hart Vision stuff. Is James Maria involved with this? They're all based in Europe, as far as last time we heard it, although Richard might be in some random country, who knows. But I've heard people say Richard's in South America, Richard's in Asia, Richard's in Africa, Richard's in Russia, Russia. So wherever he is, he's there. But we got Top Hat right now at number 17, up 4.5%. That's still sitting pretty nicely there. We got UFO from PTC up 4.25%, and so forth. So Prevex, the biggest pool, is sitting at 4,066,278. Let's have a look at this one because this pretty much touched into my zone here, and yesterday did a big T. We can see the all-time or the local low. Let me do it that way. The local low was 4,056,000 yesterday, and if we look at the market cap, then that pushed us back in to actually let's go to the 4 hourly. That pushed us back into my range, right? Because I kind of felt that relative to Pulsechain and Pulsex, which had operational DeFi working, the DEX and stuff, that this should be discounted to that because it's only in beta, right? It's only in beta. Of course, markets move from 2 things. They move because of fundamentals, sometimes delayed. They also, buy the rumor, sell the news, and of course, this is kind of more that event. And we had the FOMO in, right? So FOMO came in and then it got sold back down. We had the market maker come in with Richard, and at the same time he was posting about it. That was pretty unusual. And then we have, where are we dipping? Is this the bottom? Is this the bottom? Well, we definitely want to get higher highs here, but I think we probably want to get back over 85 million is my guess before we start saying this might start moving higher again. And at the moment, we did touch the top of my range. We got down about 73 mil. This range is 60 to 75. And I just felt that relative to, and this is using GoPulse market cap numbers, not tech screener ones. So that's kind of where we are right there on the old Prevex. So is it a good entry? Kind of looking close. But we'll see. We'll see. Do I have the RSI on this? I don't know if I do. Let me have a look. Guess RSI starts to work. Yeah, we've come off the bottom there, so that's kind of encouraging, and we've definitely gone higher than we were before, so it is encouraging. Maybe the bottom is there on the old 74 there on the market cap. Let's have a look at the price though. So that's the one we should be looking at, isn't it? We only just started printing an RSI. It's sitting around 50, so pretty flatlined. And I still got a 4 hour. It's got a better view. We are coming off the bottom for that. Yeah, so we got 65 there. We probably want to get over, over that 6,700 before we start, jumping up and down about it starting to print back up. So not over yet. Still not over the 21 moving average, which is at 65. Still not over 67. So 65, 67, got to break through that to get exciting. And then, game on. And if it particularly breaks over the 73, it's got plenty of room in the RSI. I'd be watching those two together before, hyper FOMOing there. Well, we haven't had another glitch. We had 2 glitches in the matrix. Had to refresh there, but looks like everything's going okay. And I don't think we've lost anybody. I don't think we've lost any. We've got Red Ray now, so good to see Red Ray. All right, so let's jump over into the rest of the markets. So that was Pruvex, and that is down at number 24 right now, the biggest pair. Let's scroll down a bit further here. We've got Curve. Now, I do apologize. Apparently, I made a bit of a boo-boo yesterday. It's easy to do when you're covering all these tokens. But we got Curve, CURV, and or CUVR or something, and then we got this Curve. So one of them is the limit orders. I don't think it's this one here. So just take note of that. So be careful with the Curve. But tricky there. We've got Gizmo at number 30, up 3.5%. We've got all the Pruvex in here as well. SCADA, Reserve Tay pairs in here. They're all up around over 3%. Not too bad. So these are all beating Pulsechain, right? Pulsechain was only up about 1/3% or something. So these are all doing better than that. So we've got everything else up as well. I'm not going to go through all this list, but essentially we've got about 60% of the top 100 trending coins or pairs doing better than Pulse right now. So there we go. All right, so let's scroll down to the bottom and see who's doing the worst today. Who's doing the worst? It's cruel, I know, but we got a world's OG WebChef, world's greatest PDI printer down 6%. And we've got a few of the other mixed pairs here. Firewhale, PTC the Greys down a little bit as well. So PTC the Greys losing at that FOMO. They're still doing great. Perry Bernard doing great. They're in the monster thread this week. They've got the referral program on, but just there is ebbs and flows, right? Ebbs and flows to these things. But they're back down at 00012. So we should look at one of these pairs. Let's have a look at one of these pairs, I guess. PTC Inc. PTC. I always like the PTC Pulse. This one here, so it's down 1% today. Let's have a look at the PTC Pulse pair, and we can see that it's kind of just lost that rally. Had a nice rally for 2 weeks. These are weekly candles, just down over the last 4 weeks here. Obviously with Pulse down. Let's look at the Pulse ratio. That's what we care about. Everything leveraged. So the Pulse ratio is still looking really good. So it might have flatlined a little bit here, but actually it's had a nice little rally for weeks and weeks and weeks. So that's that referral program right in February, really picking up in the last part of February into March. Those 2 green candles, which you can see there, and just slowly stepping up here. So actually looking pretty good. Actually, the RSI is overheated on the Pulse ratio. If we ever look at US dollars, let's have a look at that. US dollars really low at 44. So I think good times. So probably just track a little bit, just slowly sneak up. And PTC is still looking pretty good. Still looking pretty good there on the Pulse ratio. Look at that. And a bit of a cup going on here. Is it like a bit of a cup? So we'll keep looking at that. It's got resistance at 20.5 Pulse, but still looking pretty good here, I think, on the charts overall with that US dollar RSI. We'll keep checking. Maybe a little bit of consolidation just to cool down the old ratio here. But nevertheless, I think it's more likely up than sideways consolidating and up. From here is my guess. They keep working hard, right? Keep working hard. One of our biggest communities in the Pulse chain. So that leads us to the latest update from Liberty Swap. The Kraken on Pulse chain keeps delivering there. Hopefully we won't have any more glitches in the matrix either. Now we've got Liberty Swap. This is where we finished off yesterday. They dropped some more alpha bombs yesterday. 2 big things are coming for Peacock. Peacock will be available on Coinbase. Say what? Yeah. And so that's been pretty exciting. Now, we're not in decentralized exchanges here, but we recognize that Coinbase has got a huge American audience and client base, right? So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And we want Peacock to become $1 billion utility meme and one of the main catalysts for Pulsechain. Then hell yeah, let's do it. Peacock buyback and burn will be brutally strong. OMG, all that volume, right? All that attention, all that love. So these guys have been working hard, guys. He's working hard on multiple fronts to add value, which is pretty cool. Also, what do you think about VCOC here as well? So, we like derivative plays. So exciting stuff there. Peacock go to the next level. Liberty Swap, big vision. Cannot stop thinking about it. Billions, says Liberty Swap. So they're going to keep going. And man, they're doing some exciting stuff there. RhinoFi says VCOC governance on top of that turns holders into participants, not just spectators. We like that. Yeah. That's pretty cool. We got the monster thread there. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Number 47 from MVS. Nice. What else there? Raging says Peacock will be number one coin on Pulsechain. It will. We're doing everything we can to make it long-term store of value, adding more ETH to our war chest. Indeed. V tokenomics has its strengths, though, completely optional. That's true. We've got lots of cool stuff in here. Real DeFi activity on Pulsechain is the strength of our blockchain. I don't think Mr. Hart will let it go to waste. I agree with him on that. So lots of cool stuff happening there with the Liberty Swap. So that was where we ended off yesterday, but we got more, right? We got more. We're going to go, what happened there? I'm not sure what happened there, but how's the screen looking? Okay. Let's scroll up here. We got some cool little things here. Now, I thought this is pretty interesting. So Pulse Alerts here decided to do some buy volumes of through Liberty Swap data, which we hadn't really seen. Been wanting to get some of this information, and here we got it. So it turns out volume by network, top networks, base there is the top. So that's interesting. You guys all on base, but anyway, base is doing well. 98,500%, so circa almost 40% is base volume. Ethereum, 92,300. This is over the last 3 days, by the way. So, it's 35,000 a day on these networks. 37% on Ethereum. BNB, 38,700. That's pretty cool, 15%. So these are the top three, base, Ethereum, and BNB. So you can't be too, those are all major coins. Arbitrum, 5,800, chain 9009, there, 42. We've got these other chains here as well, about a couple of thousand. And then we got the Polygon, Optimus, and others, 2,500 there. So we're obviously looking for other chains to build up, but that's pretty interesting allocations. I thought that was really interesting. Thank you, brother, there from Liberty Swap. And presumably that was accurate too. So there we go. Some insights there. 12 hours ago, Liberty Swap says the price of core coins is tough right now, and every day feels like a new low. All we can do is focus on strengthening our capacity, which is what they're doing, right? They're building out more and more DeFi in the ecosystem, supporting our communities and carefully building liquidity and software one step at a time. The market will come back eventually, and we'll be ready. Yeah, that's right. So I like that. All right, let's scroll back up here. I think I've had some issue with the matrix here as well on the old X. This week, our product updates will significantly enhance Liberty. For the first time, Liberty products will be adopted by major partners on Ethereum. So, guys, these guys, I don't know, they got some magic sauce here, but they're now talking about getting. We saw little Blues Clues that they were getting recognized by the industry, right? And now it looks like it's going up into all the major ones here. For the first time, Liberty products will be adopted by major partners on Ethereum, and this is what we're looking for. I was actually going to leave a comment to them yesterday, and then I thought, well, maybe they're already doing it. And I was going to say, major partners would be really cool if you guys could hit them up. But I thought, they're probably already doing it. And here they are the next day. They put this in the post. And other EVM compatible chains, in addition to Pulsechain, the resulting free flow of capital through Liberty will be substantial. And that is king, right? That liquidity capital flow is king, right? That's what we want to see. As I always go on about, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have 90% of pretty much of the volume going through there, and that's the key, right? That's the key. And now, getting this happening multi-chain and through Pulsechain, we get to share in that, and that's bullish, right? That's bullish. Obviously, it's multi-chain too. On-chain analysis will be able to see these movements, providing excellent visibility and serving as a powerful way to showcase both our products and Pulsechain to the broader crypto industry. Isn't that exciting? Absolutely cool. Some popular wallet and dApps will use our services. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's why they've been doing. Remember, they just opened up the SDKs and the APIs and all that stuff. APIs, yeah, they've just opened all those stuff up, right? It's pretty cool. We saw even Internet Money Wallet connecting up with them about that with the APIs. This is amazing news. It says $10. We will coordinate with them on marketing as well. Now, I talked about that yesterday. I had a suspicion they were going to do promotion, but then yesterday I said, "Oh, we're going to be doing more DeFi and less marketing." But now they've obviously given us a little bit of blues clues that they will coordinate with them on marketing. So share the burden and get the benefit, right? And you're opening up with a whole ton of new audiences with these major players. Very, very exciting stuff here going on. Awesome stuff. So some cool things there. Adding to the Peacock, it will definitely create massive demand for Peacock as teams on other blockchains start using our products. Ooh, like that. There's some more angles there. Mostly through buybacks and burns. Could you please tell us what the use and proper purpose? Buybacks and burns here for the old Peacock. Feed the bird with all fees and other incomes. I like that. Is it go time, sir? It's almost go time. So obviously they're building up towards what they might think is the market moving. So huge stuff there from Libya's up. So big teasers. We're looking forward to it. We should get a lot of releases about that. And then not following too long after that, they get Coindar on, right? We've already seen two other major information platforms talk about LibertySwap in the last couple of days. And now we've got Coindar as well. Number one Peacock cryptocurrency calendar. They got 60,000 followers. These are all new audiences hearing about the LibertySwap and Peacock services. And they got Peacock event has been added to Coindar. So vote for the event to bring it to the top. Check out the media about Pulsechain Peacock there. So that's awesome. Now, if you guys want to go and vote for that, I highly encourage you to support that because it helps with Pulsechain overall. I'll leave that link on the chat here so you guys can go vote for that. Presumably, be active. This is how you, as a community member, can help pump Peacock, LibertySwap, and Pulsechain ultimately. So it's pretty easy to do. Just go and support that. That first yield DeFi product launch, April 2026. So looking forward to that. Nice stuff there. I'm seeing in the comments. So that is kind of cool. And what else we got there? We got 8 hours ago, users can shield and unshield USDC using Railgun privacy protocol, protect their poly market trades. I thought that was a really nice use case or application of their shielding. What else we got here? They said 7 hours ago that they're going to update their list of coins and tokens on Pulsechain across all LibertySwap products to reduce confusion. For example, USDC exists in multiple forms, pump tires, fork versions, etc. ESD. For the pump tire version, we will rename USDC pump tires to pump USDC or use a different prefix. So question mark there. So similarly, how should we differentiate between Prefix and Prefix Mr. Hart? So lots of questions there on that. So they're trying to make that a bit easier to follow. And it is a complex environment for that, right? So there we go. What else? We will definitely be a huge debate over whether the fork should burn Satoshi Bitcoin wallet. Yeah, maybe. Now we're going to jump past all that. These comments. We do have a solution to create pain-free Pulsechain trading experience. Just takes a little time to make all of these problems a thing of the past. So they're working on that. We're getting excited about that when it comes up. They're moving, obviously, in the future to Liberty Land and other products. Remember that their LibertySwap V2 upgrade and now allowed them to hook in new DeFi. Just hook them all in. Just rapidly expand the DeFi ecosystem, which is awesome. And we've got so much on the roadmap right now. It's crazy. 3 hours. If your wallet keeps, they're talking about the gas issues there. So there's a little bit of stuff around that, a little bit of admin. 2 more weeks. We know the grind. Yeah, Trump, they're talking about 2 to 3 weeks left in the play. We're going to scroll back up here. So 2 hours ago, we've seen this virtually every day, haven't we? Is that LibertySwap buying up more Peacock and adding Ethereum and USDC. So they've been buying up Peacock and also adding USDC and ETH. So just bought 6,000 worth of Peacock and added $14,000 USD to the buyback wallet. Let's see who is more patient and consistent there. So these guys are backing up their support of the Peacock there as the official token of LibertySwap. And that is essentially the store of value for the ecosystem there. And obviously, we're looking, I think we've had fairly diamond hands in the Peacock holders. And so we'll keep a lookout for that too. And maybe it's just the beginning, right? Maybe it's just the beginning there. Let's see what people thought about that. You guys are making me FOMO. Peacock, says Caleb on crypto, another influencer in the Pulsechain community. We need a token that reflects Peacock. I might just add Peacock to my core ecosystem, which will now be core 9. 9 is a good number. Apparently, it's my life number, he says. Number 9 is okay. Lady Liberty. We rise together, Lady Liberty. Friends, stay strong and rise together. I believe in the Pulsechain Trinity. So we're talking about the 0, right? One of the trifecta there. chasing the airdrop, planning this. Yeah, so we're talking about that. So the wallet's coming up, right, for the privacy wallet, public wallet they're doing, and there's going to be airdrop for, is it the XZK? I always mess up the letters, so hopefully we'll try and get that right. What else we got there? Just can't stop. Pulsechain needs a strong coin, and it's called Peacock. Oh wow, it's much more than that since we bought a ton of Peacock and added it to our LPs. Yeah, I thought they had 7.5%, but they've gone up a lot since they've been buying tons of Peacock every day. I mean, yesterday they bought $15,000 worth, for goodness sake. Today they bought another 7. These guys are buying a lot of Peacock. Yeah, crazy stuff. So kind of cool. Lots of excitement around that. And what other team is doing this, right? Other teams doing this. Pretty crazy there. So that is the latest and greatest from Liberty Swap. You can see the Kraken on Pulsechain doing some pretty amazing stuff there. We're going to keep watching their journey, but they've got some big stuff coming up this month, right? This month of April has just started. We're expecting the wallet. There'll be an airdrop for Peacock holders, no doubt. We don't know the final tokenomics of that, but presumably it's going to be a big chunk of the supply, and that will be, as I understand, a DAO token and stakeable, earning yield fees. So that's just another pump momentum for the old Peacock. So yeah, we'll keep a lookout for all that. Lots of cool things. They got their liquidity market maker going to be launching for LibertyX, the DEX aggregator, I think. What else? With the intent-based trading, and then they've got what's the other thing they announced as well? Another yield coin. I think it is. I just can't remember what the basis of that was, just off the top of my head. But exciting times, and then Liberty Lens coming later on. And of course, we've got all these big announcements, all these big partners going to be launching. So we're going to get here probably announcements, and they're talking about Coinbase and listing and everything else. What other big ETH mainstream platforms and information sites will be listing the old maybe directories too, listing the old Liberty Swap. So kind of cool. Remember, Liberty Swap is at the frontier of all this technology around privacy and DeFi. That should attract a lot of attention, and they've got a rising volume going through their protocol, which is kind of cool to see. Is it about to go next level? 10x the volume, 20x the volume? We shall see. Will it go even more, 100x the volume? We're going to be watching the journey of the old Liberty Swap. Will Peacock become the one of the top memes in the world? Get into that $1 billion club, very exclusive club. There's only about 7 coins or something in that club. Maybe this is the best bet, one of the key catalysts to get Pulsechain on the roadmap. Putting aside Richard Hart's game plan for Pulsechain, could be pretty exciting there. All right, we're up to now 12 minutes. It's probably a good time to finish. What do you guys reckon? I think it's a pretty good time. Now, if you guys want to get more alpha, then drop into our strategy club. It really is a great place to be, passing in all the intel about the market in there. A lot more than I covered on the live stream, of course. And you can join up today. Just over $1 a day. It's fantastic value. And you can either hit the QR code below me in the video, join up through the Whoop store, one of the major stores for joining up to clubs and stuff, and that will give you a link to go to the strategy club, and we'll see you in there. You get all the benefits of the rest of the Discord, including all the resources, the crypto helpline. We are the only ones that have that in the Discord there, and of course some of the best people in Pulsechain and crypto. So join up today. What else we got? We've also got Telegram. You can join up to that too. And general membership is $12.50 if you want to join up Discord for that. That doesn't include Strategy Club though. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you again for tomorrow's show. Maybe I'll do a show later on. I don't know, it just depends what topic's out. Yesterday I did 2 shows. I did Titanx. Titanx is getting closer to its 888-day payout. We're looking forward to that. $2.3 million, probably a bit higher now, probably 2.5 million today since ETH went up. It's going to be interesting in 2 days' time. Lots of theories going around there about Jake Sharp and all that sort of stuff. So we'll keep tabs on that. We also saw X1 Chain, the fee coin there, jumping a decent percentage. I think it's back at 40 cents, way down from its dollar mark though. So we'll keep a look at that for that. X1, of course, the superior Solana chain. May it never go down. May it always go up. So we'll keep a look at that. That's from Jack Levin, of course. We've got Jake Sharp and Jack Levin. I always get them mixed up. But we got cool things happening in that space after a long time for Titanx. And, of course, only the beginning, I suggest to you, for X1 Chain in its infancy at the moment, just laying out all the basics that they can rally, I guess, when the bull market hits. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Catch you again tomorrow if I don't do another stream today. Until then, take care, everybody, and bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the follow. See you later on. Cheers.